Hey there, and welcome to Authentically ADHD. I'm your host, Carmen, and I am so glad that you're here. This is a podcast where we get real about ADHD. No filters, no judgment, a safe space to explore and learn and grow. If you're here, it's because you want to take a deep dive into the world of ADHD, and trust me, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I start this podcast? Well, in true ADHD fashion, it all started very impulsively. One day, I thought, I should start a podcast, especially with all this paperwork that I have and all these notes that I have trying to understand my own ADHD. And the next thing I knew, here I am, sharing thoughts with you. I don't know, 200, 100 episodes later? I don't know. I lose track of time. I'm time blind. Are you? Anyways, when you have ADHD, ideas come fast, and sometimes you just gotta roll with them. Honestly, this podcast was born out of my passion for understanding ADHD in a deeper way with the newest research. You see, pills don't teach skills. That's something I've learned over the years. Medication can help and is a great tool to use, but true growth, that comes from knowledge, understanding, and actionable skills. And so that's what I want to share with you. Research-backed insights, practical tips, and lived experiences of someone who's been there. Now, a little bit about me. I'm not just a host of this podcast. I'm also an early childhood special education teacher, which means I've spent years understanding how children learn, grow, and thrive in ways that work for them, especially when they're neurodiverse. And I'm also a certified life and performance coach, guiding people to unlock their full potential in both their personal and professional lives. But here's the thing that makes me a little different. I'm also a late diagnosed ADHDer. And on top of that, I self-identify as being on the autism spectrum. So when I talk about ADHD, it's not just from a professional perspective, it's from lived experience, because I get it. I know what it's like to feel like your brain is running at full speed while everyone else is moving at a different pace, and you have instructions that are in Japanese and upside down, and everybody else got them in their own language. Throughout this podcast, I'll share all kinds of insights about navigating life with ADHD, from the everyday struggles to the strengths that we can celebrate. We'll talk about everything from time management to relationships to self-advocacy, and all about how to live authentically in a world that often asks us to be anything but. Whether you have ADHD yourself or you want to understand it better, you are in the right place. So, let's get started. Hey there, my ADHD tribe. I have an offer for you. Do you ever feel like you're constantly juggling, but somehow always dropping the ball? You're not alone. We've all been there. I struggle still to manage time, stay organized, and to keep track of the never-ending to-do list. I'm Carmen, and I get it. Trust me, that's why I have created Thriving Authentically with ADHD, Executive Functions and Coping Strategies. It's a course designed to help you take control of your ADHD brain instead of letting it control you. But here's the kicker. It's not just a course. It's a journey. For only $25, you'll get access to about 3 hours of exclusive ADHD-friendly content that breaks down the executive functions in simple terms and explains why your ADHD brain works in the way that it does. And most executive functions, most importantly, it'll teach you practical, research-backed coping strategies that you can start using today. From working memory struggles to time blindness to emotional regulation, we cover it all. Plus, you'll get a workbook in your email packed with interactive exercises to help you reflect on your own ADHD journey, track your progress, and apply what you've learned at your own pace. But that's not all. You also will get 2 personalized coaching sessions where we can dive into your specific challenges and create strategies that work for you. No more one-size-fits-all solutions. Just real, authentic, tailored support. And the best part, you get all this for just $25. That's less than a cost of a meal out. Plus, with my proven strategies, you can start improving your executive function skills in no time. Imagine finally understanding your ADHD brain and learning how to thrive and not just survive. Don't wait too long. The spots are limited. Sign up today and let's get started on your journey to thriving authentically with ADHD. Hey, and welcome back to Authentically ADHD. I'm Carmen, your host and fellow ADHDer, and today we are actually going to go a different direction. Usually what I do is I focus on like a bigger topic, and then I give you some tools, tips, and strategies. But today we're deep diving into a fascinating strategy that might just change the way that you work and tackle tasks. And it's called body doubling. And no, it's not about stunt doubles or cloning yourself, although I'm sure many of us wish that we could clone ourselves. Body doubling is all about harnessing the presence of another person to help you focus, initiate tasks, and beat procrastination. Let me start with a quick story. The other week I had a mountain of laundry that I've been avoiding. You know, the classic ADHD doom pile of clothes, but like all of my clothes. And I just could not get started. So I asked my friend to come over and just hang out while I folded laundry. She wasn't folding clothes with me. In fact, she just was on the couch going through her phone, randomly talking to me. But guess what? In under an hour, the laundry mountain was conquered. It felt almost magical that simply just having her in the room made the task doable. And I've done it before on the phone with a friend. That, my friends, was my first real experience with body doubling, and it worked like a charm. It was actually a few years ago, but not the other week, but you know, these stories, I have them written down, and then I use them, and I know that was a long time ago. But in this episode, we're going to explore what body doubling really is and why it works. It has a lot to do with our brains and that dopamine. And then the multiple different ways that you can use body doubling in your own life. Along the way, I'll share some personal insights, examples, and tips. And by the end, hopefully you'll have a whole toolkit of body doubling methods, from in-person to virtual to group settings to even using apps, so you can find what fits your life best. So whether you're struggling to start that book report, clean up the house, or finish a project that you actually want to do, but somehow you just keep dodging it, stick around. This episode is all about how a focused friend, in person or virtual, might be the missing piece to your productivity puzzle. Are you ready? Let's get started. So first, let's talk about what body doubling is and why our ADHD brains love it. Body doubling is a term coined by the ADHD community to describe the practice of doing a task in the presence of another person. That person is your quote-unquote body double. They aren't there to do the task for you. They are just there, living, breathing, a form of accountability and companionship like grace. If you have ADHD, you might notice that it's way easier to do tough or boring tasks when someone else is around or you're talking to them on the phone, even if they're not helping you directly. Maybe you always studied better in the library around others, or you don't mind doing dishes if your roommate is in the kitchen too. That's body doubling in action. And for me, I know that back in college, a person having ADHD, having those other people in that library really helped act like an anchor. It helps ground you in the here and now, reducing the chance of your mind drifting off. Now, we ADHDers often struggle with initiating tasks and sticking with them. And it's not because that we're lazy, it's because our brains have trouble regulating certain neurotransmitters, notably dopamine, which is key for motivation and focus. Dopamine is like the brain's start engine button in ADHD brains. The dopamine system tends to be understimulated or hungry, making it hard to rev up and get moving on command. This is where body doubling becomes kind of a superpower because the more presence of another person can spark a dopamine release in our brains. Research actually shows that social encounters activate the dopamine reward circuitry in your brain. In other words, when you engage with someone or even just know somebody is watching or working with you, your brain gets a little hit of that motivation chemical. It's the same circuitry that makes getting praised or seeing a friend enjoyable. Our brains treat it as a reward. So, if you're working on a dull spreadsheet and have a buddy sitting nearby, your brain might perceive that social presence as a mini reward, upping the dopamine and helping you feel motivated to keep going. Not only that, but the ADHD is associated with underactivity in the brain's executive functioning center. You know, the prefrontal cortex, that part of our brain that helps with like planning, focus, and impulse control, basically everything we struggle with to be an adult. It relies on the right balance of brain chemicals like dopamine to function well. When someone else is with us, it provides a gentle nudge to the PFC. It's like the brain says, oh, someone's here with us. Better step it up a bit. That social presence can activate the PFC and other attention networks, making it easier to kickstart tasks and sustain attention. In psychology, there is even a concept known as social facilitation, where people often can perform simple tasks better in the presence of others. For ADHD brains, having a person there can provide just enough stimulation to get into focus mode. Then there's the accountability and social pressure. Another reason that body doubling helps us is simple human psychology. We're social creatures, and if someone is sitting with you while you work or they're working with you, it's less likely that your brain is going to wander off or start scrolling TikTok because, well, it would be a little bit awkward to do that with an observer, right? This is gentle social pressure. You don't want to disappoint the person or be seen kind of, quote-unquote, slacking off, so you stick to the task, even if the other person isn't watching you like a hawk. Just knowing that we're both here to get stuff done creates a mutual understanding. It provides external structure, a set time, a shared space, and a sort of unspoken agreement that we're working now. For many of us with ADHD, that external structure is golden because it internally generates structure, like saying, I will start working at this time by yourself. Often, that's not strong enough. But with a body double, there's an immediate sense of responsibility and focus. You kind of feed off one another's presence. If you say you're going to be at the library at 9 a.m. sharp and you only promise yourself, there's less of a chance that if you're promising somebody else that you'll meet them at the library at 9 a.m., you're not going to want to leave them there waiting for you. In a nutshell, the neuroscience says that when you successfully start focusing with a body double, your brain is essentially benefiting from dopamine boost and increased activation in the networks that might otherwise be underpowered. One 2019 research review pointed out that social interaction naturally engages the brain's reward system, helping people feel more motivated when others are around. And since ADHD is linked to dopamine dysregulation, we often don't get enough dopamine firing when we're trying to do boring tasks, or it tries to fire and it just kind of puffs instead. This social kick can bridge the gap. It's like jump-starting a car battery. The other person's presence provides spark in your engine that it needs to turn over. And beyond dopamine, there's also a calming aspect. There's a theory in neuroscience called the polyvagal theory, related to our nervous system, and it states, in simple terms, that when we sense we're in a safe social environment, our brain shifts into a calmer state that's better for focus. Think about how you might feel more relaxed after working in a cozy coffee shop with friendly vibes versus sitting alone in a silent, empty house. For many, the former feels less anxious. According to the polyvagal theory, having another person nearby can signal to your brain, hey, it's safe here, and you can chill and focus and get your work done. That's activated, and it's what's called the ventral vagal state, a fancy term for socially engaged, calm and focused mode of your nervous system. Heart rate might even slow down, and stress hormones drop when we feel socially comforted, which reduces anxiety and mental chatter, making it much easier to concentrate. All of these brain and body effects combine to make body doubling effective and a very potent tool for us ADHDers. Now that we know why it works, let's talk about the many different ways that you can actually do body doubling. Because guess what? It's not one size fits all. There are several different forms of body doubling, from the classic in-person to body doubling digitally and creative alternatives. You can experiment with these and see what clicks for you. So let's start breaking them down. So people a lot of times think they hear body doubling and they picture something pretty simple, like sitting next to a friend on the couch while you work on your laptop. Sounds really easy, right? Just have a buddy, like anybody, a buddy sitting near you while you do your own thing, and magically you'll stay on task. But here's the thing. Body doubling isn't just about having someone physically present. It's not limited to that one-on-one buddy system we usually think about. The way body doubling is often depicted in the media or everyday conversation, it makes it sound like it's just like working within the company of someone that's actually sitting right next to you. Just a friend to hang out with while you work. That's all you need to make all your procrastination problems magically disappear. And the simple version has its merits, yes. Having a friend there can work wonders, but the truth is body doubling goes a lot further than that. You're not just looking for a buddy who will distract you with chit-chat. Sometimes that's all you need. Or you're not just looking for someone to passively hang out while you avoid work. Body doubling is actively using another person's presence as an anchor to keep you grounded and focused on what you actually need to do. The idea is about using someone else's energy, presence, and accountability is to help you get started, stay on track, and keep you moving forward. And the coolest part, you don't always need someone sitting in the same room with you, like for this to actually work. It's not just sitting next to a friend. So let's dig into that. Body doubling is not just a one-fits-all thing. There are multiple ways to get that body double effect. You might hear body doubling and think of that traditional picture. And while that's a perfectly valid version, it's just one of many ways. Here's the key thing. The key to body doubling is having a second person, a tool, or an app that provides focus fuel that you need to push through to get to your next task. The presence of that other brain, whether it's human or virtual, gives you that spark of motivation. Here is a breakdown of some other ways that body doubling works its magic beyond just sitting next to someone. In-person body doubling. Yes, the classic one of sitting next to a friend or family member in the same space working on your own tasks. Find someone who has similar focus levels and minimal distractions so that you're not adding extra chaos to the mix. You can always also do this virtually over a Zoom or a Google Meets, having a work buddy who's virtually sitting next to you, guiding you toward productivity through mere presence. Then there's group body doubling. Sometimes having a crowd can add some level of motivation, whether that's a shared office space, co-working session, a library, or a coffee shop. This can be especially effective for those of us who thrive in social environments but still need to focus because we're kind of chatty. Then there's passive body doubling. Now this is where doubling gets even more creative. You don't need somebody to actually be actively with you. Just have someone in the same space so that you can stay focused. Maybe it's your friend who's not even doing work. It could be a pet who's curled up nearby. Their presence provides comfort and a sense of accountability that helps you focus without needing them to actively actually engage with you. For some people, this passive presence is enough to create the right environment for certain types of focus. Then there's automated body doubling with tools. Tools and apps and timers can act as your body double. For example, using the Pomodoro timer or apps like Forest gamifies acts of staying focused. While these aren't actual people, they provide that external structure and reminders, which can be just as effective for ADHD brains. Now, the key here is to externalize those tools so that you can make sure that you are stepping in to provide the double support you need, right? Even if it's not a human. Then there's silent body doubling. It's like the one where it's group body doubling but quieter. So it's not about having a conversation. It's about sitting in silence, staying grounded, whether it's sitting in the same room with a friend, tuning into a silent study group online. The unspoken shared focus of being around one another can help you stay silently on tasks. There are a few other ways that we're going to dive into And we're going to do that right after a word from our sponsors. Hey there. If you're looking for a game changer in managing your ADHD, let me tell you about something that's made a huge impact on my life. Focused, the adult ADHD group coaching program by Kristen Carter. This isn't just another program. It's a community. It's a roadmap. It's a lifeline for adults with ADHD who want to thrive. Inside of Focus, you'll find weekly coaching calls with Kristen packed with actionable insights, a supportive community of adults who get it. They get what it's like to live with ADHD. You'll get tools and strategies that actually work for our brains. No fluff, just real results. I've been a part of Focused for over a year, and let me tell you, it's where I've learned so much of what I share with you on Authentically ADHD. It's been a game changer for me, and I think it could be for you too. And here's the best part. If you use my link to join, we both save money. It's a win-win. So if you've been looking for the right ADHD support, this is your sign to check it out. Head to the link in my show notes to learn more and sign up. Let's thrive together with tools and support that we need to succeed. Are you also loving what we're doing on Authentically ADHD but want to take your experience to the next level? Well, I have got something for you. Introducing the Authentically ADHD Patreon, your VIP pass to the ultimate ADHD support hub. As a Patreon member, you'll unlock exclusive perks like early access to every single episode, hear it before anyone else does, a treasure trove of resources that I've made, tools, guides, and worksheets to help you thrive in everyday aspects of life, direct coaching opportunities with me designed to help you harness your ADHD powers, and the cherry on top, an incredible community of like-minded individuals who just get it. You're not alone on this journey, and together we can be unstoppable. By joining Patreon, you're not just supporting the podcast, you're fueling a movement. Together, we're breaking stigmas, embracing authenticity, and creating a world where ADHD is seen as a strength and not just a struggle. So what are you waiting for? Head over to patreon.com/authenticallyADHD and join the family today. Let's keep growing, thriving, and showing up authentically together. Hope to see you over there. Back to the show. Okay, so now that we've talked about different types of ways that you can body double, let's talk about a couple of the unconventional ones. Say you need to get some laundry or dishes done and you don't have somebody that's right there ready to body double with you. You can try texting or calling a friend and see if they have time to sit on the phone with you and chat while you get your work done. There are so many ways, even recorded body double apps online. There's even free ones on YouTube. Haley Honeyman, who, if I remember to do so, I will try to link her in the show notes, but you can find her by just searching Haley Honeyman on Google or on YouTube, and she has YouTube videos that are for body doubling where she is working. She is talking to people in the chat who are working, and she does the Pomodoro technique for you while playing lo-fi music, giving you the option to listen or not. And she has a timer up so that you remember to take breaks and don't fall into hyperfocus, which can sometimes make us miss meeting our basic needs, right? So that's like a lot of different ways that you can actually body double with somebody. And you may be wondering, why? Why are there multiple methods and why does this matter? The beauty of body doubling is that it's incredibly flexible, and that's great for our ADHD brains because they love flexibility and nuance. Depending on the task, your energy levels, or what's available to you, you can mix and match all different methods. Maybe one day you want live body double sitting next to you while you work, and the next day you're going to try a virtual body body double session on FocusMate or maybe a phone call. You can even combine methods like you're using a Pomodoro timer with a virtual body double for extra accountability, like the video I mentioned. What matters most is finding the method that works for you and your brain at any given moment. It's about experimenting with different options until you discover what helps most with what tasks and what can consistently help you stay on track. And that's the real secret to body doubling. It's not one method that fits all. It's all about finding out how you can make it work for you and adapt it to fit your needs. Honestly, this is why I decided to do an episode about body doubling, especially because whether it's inside or outside the community, people ask about it. People want to know what it is. They don't necessarily always understand. And so while body doubling might seem like a really simple concept, it's so much more than just sitting side by side with a friend. It's about using another person, tool, or environment to provide the structure, motivation, and support that your ADHD brain needs to overcome procrastination, stay focused, and get things done. Whether you prefer in-person interaction, virtual co-working, or digital tools, or maybe it depends on the task you're doing. Personally, it depends on the task that I'm doing to tell if I need body doubling or not and what type I need. Try out different variations and see what makes your ADHD brain shine. Make sure you check out some of the body doubling apps or online communities. There are ADHD productivity communities like Discord apps or Flow Club or others where people hop into virtual rooms to work quietly together. If you prefer a little background human presence, try searching Study With Me lives on YouTube or Body Double lives. And then you can find also live streams or the recorded sessions like I talked about. This big win of virtual body doubling is a convenience. You can do it without needing someone physically present. 3 a.m. and you need to crank out an essay. There's probably somebody somewhere online in a compatible time zone on FocusMate or an ADHD study group who could hop on with you. The world becomes a pool of body doubles. So that is a wrap for today's shorter episode of Authentically ADHD. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to experiment with body doubling in your own life. Whether you're inviting a friend over to sit quietly with you or setting up a virtual co-working session with your friend later, or even using an app to boost your focus. Remember, it's all about finding what works for you and embracing the support that your ADHD brain needs. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps more ADHD brains like ours find this space, and I'd love to hear how you use body doubling to tackle your tasks. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Authentically ADHD_podcast or join the conversation in our community. Remember, it's okay to need help staying focused. We're all in this together. Stay kind to yourself, keep experimenting, and never forget that your ADHD is a brain full of unique strengths, even though we have things we can work on. That's all for now. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, stay authentic, and we will talk soon.